A lovely lady has a nice business, about 55, 60 embroidery heads, beautiful shop. And I went up after she had tested it to sit down with her and talk to her about it. We were walking around looking at her shop, and she was talking about the Freedom Ring, and all of a sudden we came around a corner, and this was sitting there. And I asked her, I said, what is this? And she said, that's a hooping station that we made ourselves. And if you look very carefully, you see around here, they literally would cut out cardboard, the shape where a hoop would sit inside of it, and they would tape the cardboard down to set the hoop inside of it. And I said, well, why do you do that? Her answer, not mine. She said, because so many of the systems that are out there are so stinking expensive that by the time you buy all the parts and pieces and fixtures and adapters and all the stuff for all the size hoops you need, you spend a fortune. So we did this. She said, mark these words. She said, you want to make a real contribution to the embroidery industry. You come up with a hooping station that you can use most any hoop, and you don't have to buy a bunch of different parts and pieces. If you can do that, then you'll make a real contribution. And I said, well, I don't even know how to get started. She said, yes, you do. She handed me this 2 years ago. 2 years ago, February. In comes the other love of my life. Todd is not only owner of Kara Polymers, the injection mold company that makes our hoops. He's also a licensed engineer and a great designer and a great friend. So I took this and off I marched to Todd's office and said, guess what we're going to create? And I'm not going to drag you through this, I promise. I'll get to it very quickly, but I will tell you that I actually considered bringing, we talked about bringing all the variations. You wouldn't believe what would be sitting here. Last October, and our dealers, God bless them, they've been asking for 2 years. When's it coming? 3 months, 2 months, 6 months. They've stuck with us. Last October, we came out, we finally had what we thought was going to be something that worked and worked well. And I went to Todd, and we've laughed about this on several occasions. We went in the conference room, just the two of us, and I'm sure he remembers it the same way I do. I looked at it and I said, I'm not going to do this. I'm not going to do it. Every hooping station that's out there is a pegboard type system of some form or configuration, and we were doing the same thing. And we just came up with a little Mickey Mouse way to do it a little differently. And I told Todd I didn't believe in it. And if I don't believe in something, I can't build it, I can't sell it. And I said, if this is all we can do, I'm not going to do it. And there was total silence for maybe a minute, 2 minutes. And I'll never forget sitting in the chair. I turned and looked at the wall, and call it divine intervention, call it whatever you want to call it. All of a sudden, I looked at the wall in his office, and an idea hit me. And I said, wait a minute. Everybody uses pegboard. But pegboard is confining. You can only go to this hole or this hole or this hole. What if you need to be between the two holes? What if you wanted something? And with that, I thought slot board. What if we use slot board instead of pegboard? You could have infinite adjustment. This is a Durkee Hooping Pro. What we had to figure out was, okay, we've got this, the slots, that's neat and all that stuff. How do we keep the hoops in place? And again, 10 minutes time, all this stuff came together. And we said, well, look, what we could do is we could make some little parts that are little brass pieces, solid brass, and we could put them in the slots. We can move them anywhere we need to move them, trap the hoop there, and we got it. Well, what if it's a bigger hoop? Then you move them out. If it's a smaller hoop, you move them in. It's not that complicated. And lo and behold, we're off and running. Part two. Part two is, well, if you're going to put the hoop in there, it's important, for those of you that are new, it's important to recess the hoop. That once you get the inner ring inside the outer ring, you want to pull up on that outer ring to pull even tension on the fabric. Well, why can't we design that into what we did? We put a platform on here, so the outer ring sits on here. When you press the inner ring in, it goes right past that, and it's automatically recessed. Great. We need a way to hold the backing in place. How can we do that? So we came up with a spring-loaded backing holder that holds the backing. And lo and behold, 2 years ago, we had the foresight. When we first saw this, we had the foresight to say, whatever we do with this, we need a way to hold a freedom ring that's easier than anything else. And for 2 years, I kind of laugh at this. At trade shows, we've sold thousands of these. And I can't, this shirt, this particular shirt, has been hooped well over 400 or 500 times in demonstrations and trade shows. In all those demonstrations, 2 people from all over the United States, 2 people have asked the question, what's that little thing on top for? Just 2 people. I say, funny you would ask. Someday we're working on a new hooping station, and someday when we have it, that's how it's going to mount. So this is the Freedom Ring adapter right here. That's all there is. Boom, put it on, holds it in place, you're ready to go. So there's nothing complicated about it. So with that said, let's go through and I want to show you how this thing works. And if you want to get up and walk up here and stand close, love for you to do it. If you got questions, let's have at them. I can do this one of two ways, and I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I want to take the faster route. And once we've gone through this, anybody wants me to back up and start over, we will. Because the main thing we want you to see is how this operates and how it functions. But mentally, I want to take us through the process real quickly because there's some time savers I can offer to you that I don't know you're going to get anywhere else. Right off the bat, the first thing you need to do is you need to be able to identify where does the logo go on the shirt, right? So you've got to be able to identify that center point of where you want your embroidery to start. One of the things that comes with this, when you open the box, we also happen to, our company happens to have 3 products that we call embroiderer's helpers. This is called the little helper that goes above shirt pockets. This is the embroiderer's helper for shirt sizes small through extra large. And this one literally is on the market today. Is the first day that it's on the market. It's called the embroiderer's big helper. It's for fat boys like me that wear XL, double XL, triple XL. So you still got the same problem. You still got to find it. These 3 tools retail for about $52 together, all 3 of them. They come in the box with this at no charge. So you have the tools immediately to locate that center point. So the first thing you want to do with a shirt, and again, I'm just going to, if I can work on your table here with y'all, that be okay? The first thing, put the ring right in the middle. We want to get it as centered as we possibly can, right in the middle. Take just a second to tighten these down. Now what I want you to do, if somebody's got a watch and can time this, is see how long it takes me to do this. And I think you'll find probably less than 2 minutes. If you put the 2 in the bottom first, you can be hands-free, okay? So it's sitting there supporting itself. So now I can take 2 more, put them up here. And if you notice, if you want to walk up and look, first of all, I'm completely through. Now here's the great news. It's already elevated for the recess when you push the hoop in a few minutes. And it's trapped exactly where it needs to go. So production-wise, bam, put the shirt up, bam, just boom, boom. Put our ring in, put our backing in, and the backing just slides right underneath that little backing holder. Take your shirt and pull it over, and if you want to use 2 backing holders, you've got them. What was the letter?
H.
I've got it on the H, I've got it aligned. Isn't it convenient that our center's still there? Everything's great. Take that crosshair light, make sure, looking at the lines here, that you're straight across. And with that, that's your alignment aid to insert your ring. Pick it up, pull it off, put it on the machine and go sew. Ready to go. Okay? That's all there is to it. It's as simple as that.